Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back with another subscriber requested video for you. So I was recently out, and very recently, like I think I got this comment yesterday, somebody asked me to talk about some of the most treasured fragrances in my collection. I'm probably going to do a part 2 to this video because I've only got all my fall and winter fragrances out, and I know that I've got a ton in my spring summer fragrances as well that should be in this video. So I'm gonna do, this will be part 1, and then I'll go through all of those fragrances, and we'll do a part 2. With that being said, some of these fragrances are special to me or are like treasures in my collection to me for different reasons. A lot of them, it's because they were sent to me from a subscriber, and because of that they're just really special to me. Some of them are for like nostalgic reasons, and some of them are because they're just really expensive perfumes, and because of that they're treasures. But I'll of course tell you which one of those things it is as we go. So I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna start with the most obvious one first, and that is Poison from Dior. This is the original formulation of Poison. This is the Eau de Toilette formulation. This is the one that my mom had when I was a kid, and that is why this is an absolute treasure in my collection. This bottle is from 1986. It still smells amazing. It's not gone off. It is missing some of the top notes for sure, but it still smells incredible. This is a treasure to me because this is the first perfume that I remember as a child. My mom wore all kinds of amazing fragrances. She wore this, she wore Cinnabar from Estee Lauder, she wore Opium, like the original formulations of Opium, Cinnabar, Rive Gauche from YSL. This, she had Tender Poison. She had some drugstore fragrances too that were amazing, but this is the one that, being a really, really tiny child, I remember getting into her closet, and she used to keep this big jewelry box and in the bottom of her closet, and she used to store her perfumes on top of this big jewelry box. And I remember just being little, getting into her closet, and I would spray this all over me, and the liquid was purple, and in my mind it was grape juice. It smelled like grape juice to me. It reminds me of a time, this is gonna sound really weird, I don't know if any of you guys out there have like a solid time in your life that you remember being like in your childhood, where you remember being a carefree kid, like genuinely carefree. You never got in trouble. You don't ever remember really getting fussed at. All you remember is the warmth and love that you got all day, every day. And going from that to, like, I remember the first time that I got in trouble for doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. I got into the pantry and I was getting into, I think, applesauce or something that I wasn't supposed to be getting into, and that's the first memory that I have as a child. Did you guys know you were going to be getting a psychology lesson? But that's the first memory that I have as a child of getting in trouble, and that was the demarcation line between, like, I don't know, everything being roses all the time and being a kid that got in trouble after that. But there's something about this fragrance that it reminds me of all of that. It takes me back. This is just a piece of history for me. And because of that, this is one of my most treasured bottles in my collection, and I just adore it. But anyways, who knew you guys were gonna get so much? So that is Poison, the Eau de Toilette formulation. This is a bottle again from 1986, and it's a treasure. Okay, this next one this is a perfume that, again, this is one of my most treasured fragrances or bottles in my collection because it came from a subscriber. This is a fragrance from the different company called Magena Sin. I love this perfume. I think it's beautiful. I was talking about this in a video one day, talking about how much I love this in a video one day, and a subscriber contacted me and asked me if she could send me this bottle because she had it. It didn't really work for her, and because I said I loved it, which to me is just the thought, the idea that people are so kind and generous it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And so this is a very special bottle of perfume for me, and I love it. I remember the first time I smelled this. I got this thing, Lucky Scent did this like little special sample set for Black Friday. It's probably been, I don't know, 4-ish years ago now. And this was one of the samples in it, as well as Zoologist Bee. And I fell in love with it, and I adore it. It's kind of ambery, it's got some orange in it, it's got some heliotrope in it, so it's a touch powdery. It's not overly sweet at all, but it's really warm. Actually, no, it's pretty sweet. Actually, it is pretty sweet, but it's got this touch of powderiness from the heliotrope. It's just really beautiful. But anyways, that is Jameson. This next one is another one that is really special to me because it came from a subscriber. And she also, when she sent this, she also sent some other bottles, which again are in they're in tubs right now. And those will probably be in part 2 because they're really special to me. But this is a fragrance number one, I'm obsessed with this bag because there's something again about this bag that reminds me of being a kid. When I was a kid, I always had, it was like the 80s and velvet was a thing. And so I had all these velvet dresses. My grandma would make me velvet dresses. My mom always put me in velvet. I grew up in Washington State. It was pretty cold there most of the year. And so, yeah, I just have this thing with velvet. Well, as I grew up, or as I got older, I realized that velvet wasn't like real velvet anymore. It was some kind of synthetic crap. And so I'm obsessed with this bag because this is a real velvet bag and I'm obsessed with it. So the perfume is special to me, not only because of the perfume, but because of the bag it came in. It again reminds me of my childhood. This is a fragrance from Curie and it is called Larrea. This is a beautiful perfume. This has got, it's incredibly unique. It smells like a dry, dusty desert, but it's kind of sweet. It kind of reminds me of maple syrup, which is so weird. It doesn't have maple in the note breakdown at all, so I don't know why it reminds me of maple syrup, but it smells like light, dry wood. It's slightly sweet. It's a very dry smelling perfume. I just love it. I love it. It's incredibly unique. Again, it came from a subscriber, so it's just really, really special to me. And it came in this gorgeous bag that I store it in, which even the bag is really special to me. So yeah, this is a gem in my collection for sure. So anyways, that is called Larrea from Curie. Okay, this next one is a Matthew Meleg fragrance, and I have quite a few of Matthew's fragrances and I love them all, but there's something about this one in particular that is so special to me. This is called Incense from Matthew Meleg, and I remember when I think we were talking either through Instagram or email, maybe Instagram, I can't remember, Instagram or email, and he was telling me about this fragrance and he was so excited about it because this perfume is based on, he used a 2,500-year-old perfume recipe that was found on a temple wall, I think the Temple of Horus. And I just remember him telling me about it and just how, I have a degree in history, so just the history of it alone is so fascinating for me. To think that I've got a fragrance that smells like something that you could have smelled in Egypt 2,500 years ago, like, excites the history nerd in me so much. But anyways, yeah, so this one is just really special to me. It's the best incense fragrance I've ever smelled in my life, number one. The best. It is incredible. I just love Matthew's fragrances. These perfumes, to me, these and Untamed, it's funny because I've always kind of struggled, like they're not indie, they're not niche, they're artisanal is what they are. They're like artisanal perfumes and they're just really, really special. So anyways, yeah, this one's really special to me just because of the idea around it. I love Matthew's perfumes. They're all handmade and he's a really, really neat guy. So yeah, this is just, I love all of his fragrances that I've got, but this one for me is just really, really special. So anyways, that is Incense from Matthew Meleg. Okay, this next one, this is just, I love this fragrance so much, and it's discontinued and incredibly hard to find and very, very expensive. And because of that, it's definitely a gem in my collection. This is My Insolence from Guerlain. I love this fragrance so much. This one is, I've only got about a third of it left. Thankfully, I've got a backup bottle of this. I love this. This has got like lemon and raspberry in the top. It's got almond and vanilla. It's just beautiful. It smells like a Guerlain fragrance. It's light and really easy to wear. It's bright in the top, but then again dries down to that kind of very slightly powdery, fluffy almond and vanilla fragrance. It's just a really easy to reach for perfume. It reminds me a lot of French Kiss, which is one of their higher end lines. It is one of their perfumes that is in the Arts and Materials collection, which is like $360 now. But it does, I have a little, like a 4.5 ml little vial of French Kiss, and I have tested them side by side. It's really similar. I wouldn't call it a dupe, but it's definitely a smell alike. So yeah, I do love this. And again, I have a backup bottle of it. It's funny because when I first discovered this, I blind bought it because I came across the bottle of it on Mercari, this bottle of it on Mercari. It was one that had been on my list that I wanted. And when I came across this bottle, I just snapped it up really quickly. I just blind bought it. And then when I got it, I loved it. And it did remind me of French Kiss a lot. So then thankfully I came across another bottle on Mercari and I went ahead and snatched it up too so that I had a backup bottle of it. And because it's just gotten incredibly expensive now. I have had people that are in Canada tell me that they can still get this in perfume shops. So you guys are super, super lucky if that is the case. It's very difficult to find here, but it is an absolute gem in my collection. It's a treasure. Both of my bottles are treasures because it's so difficult to find now. So anyways, that is My Insolence from Guerlain. Okay, speaking of Untamed, we've got Untamed Mevlana. This would be in a top 5 for life fragrances. I couldn't live without this perfume. This is a perfume that just smells like me. It's like my dream fragrance. It's everything that I love in perfume. It's warm, it's spiced, it's got rose in it, it's got coffee in it, it's got vanilla powdered sugar in it, it's got, I think, a little bit of incense in it, it's got Greek mastic in it, which is what really makes it very, very unique. It's warm, it's cozy, it's everything. It's sweet, but without being too sweet. It's just everything that I love in a perfume. And again, just like Matthew Meleg, this is like an artisanal perfume. It's just very, very special to me. I've never smelled anything else like this ever. And it's incredibly special to me. It's a gem in my collection. And not because it's like rare or hard to find or discontinued or anything like that, but just because it's one of my most prized perfumes because I'm so in love with it. I love it. And there's something about her fragrances, there's something about Untamed fragrances that remind me of home. She is in Canada. I believe she's in British Columbia in Canada. I grew up very, very close to there. I grew up in Washington State, just south. I grew up going up into Canada all of the time. So there's also something about this that reminds me of home. It makes me homesick. It's kind of nostalgic for, you know, just where I grew up. Not only that, her label with the owl and her woody fragrances, Shaped by the Wild, is just like on another level. There's just something so special about these perfumes. They're all, literally every single one of her fragrances is a treasure in my collection, and I'm so grateful to have them. But this one is just special. I couldn't live without it. As soon as this bottle is gone, I will immediately repurchase it because I couldn't, well, long before I ever run out, I will repurchase a bottle of it because I can't be without this. So anyways, that is Mevlana from Untamed. Okay, this next perfume, this one is super special to me just because, well, I'll tell you why it's special to me. It's special to me and a treasure in my collection, not because I think it's the most amazing perfume in the world. I love it, don't get me wrong, it's a stunning perfume, but this is special to me for, well, let me tell you why. This is a perfume called 51 from Raja. This is the Essence, I think it's the Essence de Parfum, where it's a little bit of a lighter version of the original 51. This is such a good fragrance. Yes, it smells incredible. This one is very unisex too. I could absolutely see this on a man. This is beautiful. It's floral. It's like a warm floral. It's like the slightest bit resinous smelling. It's a little bit sweet. This is another one that I feel like is just super, super easy to reach for. But this bottle is really a treasure in my collection because this was sent over from the brand. I am not somebody that is overly concerned with getting bottles sent to me. If somebody wants to send me something for me to review, I'm happy to have it. I'm not anybody that's ever going to chase after brands to try to get them to send me stuff. I just, you know, I'm just very kind of ambivalent about the whole thing. But when Raja Parfums contacted me and wanted to work with me, it just made me feel amazing. Not only because, like, I've been subscribed to Raja's YouTube channel for a long time now, and I had been watching him on YouTube like long before that, and so I don't know, there was just something that was kind of like fangirlish about it. It was kind of like, it was just really exciting for me. It just made me feel really, really good about it, or it just made me feel really, really good. This bottle is really, really special to me because of that. So anyways, that is Raja Parfums 51. I think it's Essence de Parfum. Okay, this next one, this came from a subscriber. This is my backup bottle that I have of this fragrance here. This is Givenchy Organza Indecence. And this is really special to me because this came from an amazing subscriber. She's always been such a huge support. She's just always been such a huge support to my channel. She always comments. She's amazing. And like, as a YouTuber, I think every single YouTuber out there has subscribers that was there like from the get-go and was just such a huge support for them, and those are like your core. Don't get me wrong, I love every single one of you guys. I'm sure that there are a lot of you that have been watching for years now that have just never commented, because that's the kind of person I am. I have YouTubers that I've been watching for probably 10 years now that I've never once left a comment. So know that I see you and I appreciate you. I know you guys are out there, but again, we all have like our little core group of subscribers that have just been such a huge support. But anyways, this came from one of those subscribers, and I don't know if this has been discontinued or if you can still get it on their website. Maybe it's just in that new bottle. I'm not totally sure, but this is one of my favorite fragrances. I love this perfume. This is the most beautiful, like creamy, soft cinnamon fragrance, and I adore it. It is my favorite cinnamon fragrance on the market, for sure. I love cinnamon in perfume, as long as it doesn't smell like a red hot kind of cinnamon, as long as it's done really well, and it's done so well in this perfume. So not only is this a really like treasured perfume for me because it's really difficult to find, and all I have is my other half-ounce bottle of it, it's special to me because of who it came from. So yeah, anyways, that is Organza Indecence from Givenchy. Okay, these next two that we're gonna talk about, these are special because these are original formulations. These are treasures in my collection because you can't get these formulations anymore, and they're the best. The first one we're gonna talk about is this one here. This is Dior Hypnotic Poison. This is the original formulation of Hypnotic Poison. I think it came out in 1998. Oh my gosh, I love this perfume. This is the most beautiful caraway and jasmine, and I think it's got some tonka bean in it. I love this perfume. This is an old signature of mine, and yeah, this is just a treasure for me because it's the original formulation, and I've probably got a third, maybe, yeah, I've probably got a third of a bottle left. I don't wear it very often. Thankfully now I've got an amazing clone that I can wear, so I don't have to wear this. I've also got Forbidden by Police that smells very similar too. But yeah, just very, very much a treasured perfume in my collection because you can't get it anymore. So anyways, that is Hypnotic Poison from Christian Dior. Okay, and then the next one is another Dior fragrance. This one is straight up discontinued, and you can't get it anymore, which is why this one is such a treasure in my collection. This is Midnight Poison from Dior. This is a beautiful rose and patchouli fragrance. It's a deep dark rose and patchouli. It's stunning. I adore this perfume. This one I've got about a half of a bottle left, and it's so amazing. So L from, I think it's from YSL. It's a perfume called L. It does smell really, really similar to this as well. Last time I checked, you could get L on Fragrance Net, but it is very similar to this perfume as well, and I love it too. I need to pick up a bottle of it if I can ever find it. But yeah, this is really, really a treasure in my collection because you can't get it anymore because it's discontinued. And if you can find it, it's usually outrageously priced. So anyways, that is Midnight Poison from Dior. Okay, next we have this one here. This is Stella McCartney. This is the Rose Absolute version of Stella, and this is a tester bottle. And this is super, super special to me because this is also an old signature of mine. I absolutely adore this fragrance. I wish I could get a bottle of the original formulation of just the original one, but I am super happy to have the Rose Absolute. It's just a stunning fragrance. And this one is a treasure in my collection because of how difficult it is to find, how expensive these are now, and even like all of the Stella McCartney perfumes have been discontinued at this point. So yeah, pretty much all of my Stella perfumes are treasures in my collection now because I adore them. But this one's really, really special to me just because it's an old signature of mine and I love it. I used to wear this like when my mom and I were traveling a lot back in the early 2000s, when we were traveling to London and Paris and Rome, and you know, just doing all of the traveling that we were doing. This is the perfume that I wore back then. But anyways, yeah, Stella Rose Absolute is a really special perfume in my collection. Okay, next, this next one is a treasure in my collection because it's the most expensive perfume that I've ever bought for myself. This is Zoologist B. This is, I have smelled quite a few of the fragrances from Zoologist at this point. I've smelled a lot, like probably, I don't know, between 8 and 10 of them. I've smelled a lot. This is hands down my favorite. This is a treasure in my collection because it's so, oh my gosh, this fragrance is exquisite. It's a honey perfume, but this is gonna sound weird. It's kind of like a greeny honey perfume. Like you can smell some kind of a green, like, I don't know, hay, or I think it's got hay in it, or some kind of a green. It's really, really smooth without smelling powdery, but it's got almost a dusty smell to it, which I know sounds weird. It's honey, but without being too syrupy or too sweet. It still has a really beautiful brightness to it. It's very, very slightly kind of animalic smelling, a little bit incensey. It's warm. It's an exquisite fragrance. I mean, one of the most exquisite perfumes in my collection. It's an absolute masterpiece. I don't use that term very often because I don't think that many perfumes are a masterpiece, and I don't feel like everything needs to be. I mean, if it's something that smells good and you enjoy it, but I feel like for something to be called a masterpiece, it needs to be really, really special, and that's what this is. It's a masterpiece. It's really special. And it's a treasure because not only is it a masterpiece, but it was $190. So it was really, really expensive, and yeah, is the most expensive fragrance that I've ever bought for myself. And because of that, I keep it in its box and keep it protected, and I love it. And the artwork on these perfumes is on another level too. So anyways, that is Zoologist B. Okay, this next one is a treasure in my collection because this is the first niche fragrance that I ever really, really fell in love with. This is another one that I got a sample of it. It's been years and years ago at this point. This is a fragrance from Viktoria Minya, and this is called Hedonist. Yeah, this is the first niche perfume that I ever really fell in love with. This reminds me of that time period in my life too, which was really pretty easy breezy. Yeah, it was just happy times. We were living in the first house that we bought, my husband and I, the first house that we bought together. And it was just kind of happy times. And yeah, I think I got the sample right before I kind of started focusing on perfume for my YouTube channel. When I first started this channel, I started it as kind of like a makeup review kind of channel, but then I realized that there are people out there interested in talking about perfumes too, which I was so excited about. But yeah, I got a pack of samples from Lucky Scent, like, I don't know, just before I started into perfume on this channel, and this was in that sample set I got. This perfume has peach in it, and I'm not usually the biggest fan of peach, but I love it in this. This is like a syrupy, boozy peach fragrance. Ugh, I love it. It's sweet and yummy and like intensely sweet. And yeah, it's special to me just because, again, it's like the first niche fragrance that I ever really fell in love with. So anyways, that is Viktoria Minya. Hedonist. This next perfume, this one's so special to me because this is a bottle that my beautiful friend sent over to me, and yeah, it just reminds me of her every time I see it. I love the bottle, I love the way it smells, I love everything about it. I think any Gen Xer out there would really like this fragrance. This is a fragrance called Cyrene from Vicky Teal, and like I said, it reminds me of her every time I see it. So it's really, really special to me because of that. I love the bottle. The bottle is like, it's all of these kind of like Greek looking statues of women. And then the lid is a seashell. And yeah, I love the color of the liquid. Like, I love everything about this perfume. And then when you smell it, it smells like, it takes me back to the 90s. It smells like a 90s perfume. Yes, it smells like straight out of the 90s. So it's just like everything. I love it. It's super special to me because of who it came from, because of what it reminds me of. It just takes me back to the 90s. And I adore it. It's super nostalgic for me, and it's just really, really special to me. So anyways, that is Vicky Teal Cyrene. Two more, guys. Golly, I didn't realize how long this one was gonna be. Okay, next, this is the perfume that I think got the person that asked for me to do this video. I think this is the perfume that started that. This is Sacred Wood by Kilian, and I keep it in its full presentation because it's stunning. Like, this should have been in my Halloween video because this is a perfume that reminds me of Halloween. It also reminds me of vampires. Like, the perfume bottle is in its coffin, is in its coffin, and the perfume is a vampire clad in all black, laying in its coffin on a bed of blood red silk or satin, on a bed of blood red satin. And I don't know, it definitely reminds me of Halloween. But anyways, this perfume is special to me for, again, many reasons. Most importantly, because it came from a subscriber that sent it to me. It is the only fragrance by Kilian that I own, and this fragrance has ruined all other sandalwood perfumes for me because this is the best sandalwood fragrance I've ever smelled in my life. It is exquisite. This is another one that is, to me, this is an absolute masterpiece of a woody fragrance. It is so calming and comforting and cozy. It smells amazing on. It smells even more amazing on than it does in the bottle. I adore it. It's such an amazing fragrance. And so because of that, because it came from a subscriber and because it's such an incredible fragrance, it's an absolute treasure in my collection. I'm just so grateful to have it. So anyways, that is Sacred Wood by Kilian. And then last but not least is another, this is another perfume that came from a subscriber and friend. She sends me care packages all of the time. I love her dearly. She is so sweet. She's another person that she's not only a subscriber, she's a friend. We talk in real life. And the first box that she ever sent me, she sent this perfume in, and I almost died when I saw it. At the time, I didn't have any of these perfumes in my collection, and I could not believe that she sent this. This is a fragrance from Guerlain. This is from the Arts and Materials line, and this is called Cuir Beluga. This is an absolutely stunning vanilla fragrance. And this is another one. This is a treasure because of who it came from and because it's an amazing perfume. Vanillas are my absolute favorites. I love a warm, cozy vanilla. This one is stunning because it's just slightly sweet. It's not really sweet. It's really, really warm and cozy smelling, and it's a beast. This is a vanilla that's an absolute beast. It lasts forever. I do overspray it, but I only have to spray it, or I only have to apply it once. I'm good for the entire day. It's super special and a treasure to me because of who it came from, and also just because it is an absolute stunner of a perfume. It's so good. And I'm so excited to have it in the original bottles too. I ended up buying another one from her. This is Neroli Ultra Noir. She sold it to me for an amazing price. Oh my gosh, this is another gem in my collection, and I also think of her every time I look at this bottle. I think of her, but this is the one that for me is just really, really special because she sent it, and because it's, oh my gosh, it's such an amazing perfume. So anyways, that is Guerlain Cuir Beluga. And I am gonna pick up, I heard that Dior has a clone of this now. So I'm gonna, hopefully they sell it in the travel size spray. I do wanna pick up a travel spray of that fragrance so that I can compare it to the real thing. And I'll do an is it a dupe video for you guys. So anyways, guys, those are all of the fall winter fragrances in my collection that are treasures for me. They're special for me for one reason or another. I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.